Welcome into the Oh Health Yeah podcast, brought to you by Healthy is Wellness. As you all know, our mission is to empower you to take control of your health and elicit a little bit of curiosity in your life when it comes to the world of wellness. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and if you have loved ones or friends that you think would benefit from this, share it with them. Let's get this thing going. What is up, Healthy is family? We are back with a new edition of the Oh Health Yeah podcast. Today we're going to be doing something fun, something I've been wanting to do for a minute. We're going to do a series called Mythbusters. What Mythbusters entails is taking things that people hear in the world of health and wellness that they think are the best for them, and we are going to stab those things right in the back, cut them wide open, and we're going to flip them around and see what we can actually find out about these things. So we're going to have 3 topics today that are all Mythbusters. The first one that I want to start out with is oatmeal. Oatmeal. Everybody talks about America's healthy breakfast. If you want to eat anything for breakfast, it better be oatmeal or else you're failing. That is false. Oatmeal, when it comes to macronutrient, oatmeal is a carbohydrate source. If you have oatmeal for breakfast, what it does is it spikes your blood sugar. What goes up must come down and you crash. And that crash is usually signified by, dang, I need a nap. Dang, I'm craving something sweet. Or dang, I want some more oatmeal. Now, as Americans today, oftentimes when we wake up in the morning, we're getting ready for work, we go to work, and the majority of us have a pretty sedentary job to where we're sitting down. Whether it's behind a computer, behind a screen, talking to people, we don't move a ton. So with the oatmeal at the front end of the day, what that's doing is it gives you one heck of a blood sugar spike, which if you were going to go run a marathon or if you were going to go out and play a football game or do some form of physical activity immediately, that's okay. It's not necessarily a negative thing. But when you have oatmeal with your first meal, and then you go to work and you sit in a chair, you sit behind a desk, or you go and drive somewhere, that blood sugar spike goes up, it crashes, it negatively impacts things like your A1C, your insulin levels, all of those things, and it's not necessarily beneficial for the body. So myth 1 that we're busting today is that oatmeal is the best breakfast in the world for you. We would disagree with that. The only time that I would talk to somebody about oatmeal consumption specifically with that first meal is if they were going to go work out or they were going to go lift weights right after, or if you're going to go run a marathon, have your oatmeal before. That makes total sense. Let's get you some carbohydrates. But if you're just getting ready to kick butt for your whole day, oatmeal isn't necessarily going to help you to do that. So that's my preface on this first one. Zach, what do you got for oatmeal for brekkie? Anything to add on that?
What do you think about like steel cut? Like, is the type of cut, does that make a difference?
I think steel cut would probably be better, but still, I think it's dependent on the person's goal. And the majority of people we coach are usually focused on sustaining energy levels, maybe weight loss, muscle gain, being able to be the best versions of themselves. And I think even steel cut oatmeal isn't necessarily going to be the best thing that's going to help them to be able to do those things.
Okay. Let me challenge you here on this.
Yeah.
I think as coaches, you and I have both experienced that people, especially the older demographic, over 50 years old, they're not going to move off of oatmeal for breakfast. Mm-hmm. So how can we modify an oatmeal breakfast by adding proteins and fats to it, like adding cottage cheese or adding avocado or something? I mean, I don't know if I'd add avocado to oatmeal, but like, what can we do? I mean, we've talked about it before a lot. If we have people that will never budge off of yogurt for breakfast, or, like, can we add berries to it that are low sugar, high antioxidant? What can we do there?
I think the biggest win, and I did this with my grandpa recently, is trying to get a protein source of some sort up front. So even a protein shake in that instance. It's like right now I have my grandpa doing a collagen protein shake with creatine in it before he has any form of carbohydrate in the morning. Although I know that in a perfect world, he wouldn't have that carbohydrate first thing, I'm trying to get him some protein to front load the day so that his blood sugar doesn't go on this rapid up and down roller coaster ride. So when we're thinking of solutions for people that won't give up the oatmeal, adding some protein to it, and specifically before it if you can, like even if it's a hard-boiled egg and then your oatmeal, or something that, like, just trying to get some protein in that front end of the day.
Some nuts and seeds in there if you can't, because you got some proteins and fats in it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I would argue, not argue, because I think I would just add on to what you have to say is like, dude, get some fiber in there too. Like put some chia seeds in there. You don't notice it, but you get, that's also going to really, really help with that insulin, fluctuation, the fiber intake. So chia seeds, what else? A tortilla. I'm just kidding.
There's a lot of ways to have fiber on that front end. But the big thing with the oatmeal side of things is the energy level and the crash that follows.
Yeah.
Like that crash, people don't realize that crash is coming from their breakfast, but it's not just oatmeal. It's those sugary, carbohydrate-rich things that we have for breakfast as Americans. So try to lean in on protein and fat for that first meal of the day. I don't necessarily care what your goal is when it comes to body composition changes, but just pay attention to your energy. Like try it for a day. Try protein and fat for breakfast, and then compare your energy levels that day to a day where you start your day with a big thing of oatmeal. And I almost guarantee you will notice a difference. So myth number 1 busted. Oatmeal is the best breakfast in the world. We disagree with that. It's dependent on your goals, but protein and fat oftentimes is the best way to start your day. Zach, what do you got for myth number 2? Do you got one over there?
I got a good one.
Oh boy. Let's hear it.
Collagen peptides.
Collagen peptide.
The youth fountain versus expensive protein.
Ooh.
The myth: taking a daily scoop of collagen is the only way to keep your skin, hair, and joints looking Costa Rica ready.
Costa Rica ready.
We're going back to Harper.
Jeez Louise.
The bust. Skeptics argue that your body just breaks collagen down into basic amino acids like any other protein, making it a marketing tax for moms. The reality: recent 2026 studies show it can help with skin elasticity, but only if you aren't already hitting your total protein goals. It's not a magic shred supplement. It's just convenient protein.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with the summary there. I think collagen has a place when it comes to hair, nails, and that type of thing. I do. Like my grandpa came to me after his surgeries, and he had scars that are not healing at all. Like nasty scars. And so I put him on a collagen protein. And not that I think that it's necessary that he needs that. Obviously, in a perfect world, I would have him eating whole foods to allow his body to rest and recover and heal from these things. But the collagen protein side of things, the hair and nails, the benefits that come from that, it was a no-brainer for me because my grandpa was not necessarily eating anything protein rich for breakfast. So in that instance, I was like, okay, of course you're going to get on some collagen. What do you think?
Collagen or keratin?
In what way? What do you mean?
Like, is a keratin supplement more beneficial to all those things you just listed?
I went collagen route just because from what I've seen online, the hair and nail side of things and the benefits of, like, for him, I added the creatine in as well. I don't know. It just made sense in my mind to go collagen on that.
Okay. I think that's all I've got on that one.
Sweet. What's the third? Do you have a third myth that we can bust?
Okay. Cortisol conscious coffee. First thing versus 90 minutes late. The myth: you need coffee the second your eyes open to kickstart your metabolism for the shred. The bust: wellness influencers are now claiming that drinking coffee before your natural cortisol peaks about 90 minutes after waking fries your adrenals and causes midsection fat storage. The reality: while delaying caffeine can help with afternoon crashes, the idea that a 6 a.m. latte is ruining your hormones is largely an exaggeration of minor biological signals.
Holy shnikes. So what are we looking at? Caffeine immediate or whether you wait, basically, correct?
Yeah, and you're a big guy, big coffee guy.
I know, and in my mind, in a perfect world, you wait a little bit. That's what I think. But what's interesting is if you push it too long, it's going to play into your sleep. So in my mind, that 60 to 90, Max Lugavere talked about this as well on a podcast, with the way that coffee interacts with the brain and blocks the neural pathways to help to allowing you to feel more rested and recovered. 60 to 90 minutes is where you reap the majority of those benefits. So in my mind, like if I'm talking to somebody about coffee and caffeine intake and it's somebody that we coach, I would love for them to get some water first and then lean into the coffee 60 to 90 minutes down the line. But at the same time, don't push that caffeine late into the day. Like try to be done by noon if you can so it doesn't negatively impact your sleep. What do you think, Zampy? How do you feel about coffee in the mornings?
Roll out of bed and shotgun a cold brew.
Really?
No, heck no. No. It depends. If I have bio, yeah.
Oh.
I'm getting that caffeine in. But no, I think you're kind of pushing. I think the way that I really like to analogize this is middle of Montana winter, Idaho winter, wherever you're listening from, as long as it's cold in the morning, you don't just start your car and start driving, right? No, you give it a little bit of time to warm up before you give it the beans. So let your brain warm up, let your body warm up for a minute before you add the fuel to the fire.
I like that. That's actually a good analogy. I don't know if you had to give it the beans, but
I just like talking about
makes
beans.
sense in my mind. The more that you can have that water intake before the caffeine, I think it's going to be beneficial, not only for your water consumption, but also just not dehydrating yourself as well. Like, my gosh, you hit caffeine right away. It's kind of bad news bears. Not that we all haven't done it before.
You're just going straight to the wall right off the bat. And it's like,
Exactly.
do we really need to do this? Oh, yeah. By the way, talking about like English breakfast. This is so off topic. Kind of. Going back to the initial thing, beans are a great thing to have for breakfast.
Yep.
Throwing some beans in there, you get the fiber. They're really fiber rich. They're going to make you too. Beans, the magic fruit. I like beans, guys.
Fiber and protein. Not a ton of protein, but it's in there for
Hey,
sure.
it's in there. Yeah, that's right.
Sweet. So our 3 myths we busted today. 1, oatmeal is the magical breakfast. It's dependent on your goal. Look into that a little bit more. Protein and fat can be more beneficial. Collagen protein, is there a place for it? We think there is, although it might not be the magic sauce for hair and nails. And then the third one here that Zampy just talked about, caffeine. Coffee. Should I have my coffee right when I wake up, or should I wait a little bit? We side in waiting a little bit and have a little bit of water before you intake that coffee. Don't just slam the cold brew. Have a little cup of Blue Dolphin before you slam the cold brew. Thank you all so much for tuning in today.
Oh.
We appreciate you so much. Leave us likes, comments, ratings, reviews. Let us know what you want to hear from us, and we will be back on with you soon. Take care.